Hey guys, so today's video is going to be another disappointing products video. I made a decision to do these monthly if I have disappointing products throughout the month, because a lot of you guys seem to like this kind of video. Even though everyone's different and everyone likes different things, some of you guys find this video helpful, so I thought I would do another one. Remember, I've said it 100 times, but just because I don't like these products all that much or I found them disappointing for one reason or another doesn't mean they're bad. So yeah, that's basically what this video is going to be about. Beauty products I recently purchased or I was recently sent, and they're just like not my favorite. Okay, so I have to talk about the Wet n Wild Au Naturel palette. This is the rosy toned one. It's called Nude Awakening. They have a brown one, like one with more neutral, like warm golden colors, but I just don't love these palettes. These eyeshadows are just not very pigmented. The matte ones are not so bad. I can blend the matte ones out, but the shimmery ones, like, they are just so powdery and dusty that they fade extremely fast on the eye. Like, it might seem like it's packing on some color at first, but it just blends away into nothing. There's no like solid pigment in these shimmery shadows. It's just like dust. It's a weird formula, and anyone can say like, well, it's Wet n Wild, it's a few dollars, what do you expect? No, that is not true. Wet n Wild makes amazing eyeshadows. They've done that in the past. The Comfort Zone palette is amazing. The Vanity palette, I still have that, but you know what, I'm gonna grab it. Does anybody remember this? This is like old school YouTube. Everyone was using this on YouTube back in the day. Probably like super expired, but I still keep it and use it because it is amazing quality. Like, where did Wet n Wild go wrong? Why can't they create this quality again? It's like, come on. The Walking on Eggshells trio, fantastic. Their trio's so good, the older ones at least. I'm just not impressed with this formula. What are they doing? They need to go back to their old formula. There's no excuse. But anyway, moving on. So the next product I found a little disappointing. These are the Too Faced Brow Quickies Brush On Brow Fibers. I have both colors. They sent them to me. I have Universal Brunette and Universal Taupe. I've tried both of them out. I mean, they're both the same formula, but the colors are fine. It's just I feel like they do nothing. It's like I brush these on my brows and then I'm like, all right, what just happened? I don't get the payoff that I want from a brow gel with like little fibers in it. Glossier has one called the Boy Brow that just deposits much more pigment. They don't deposit enough. It's kind of like I'm brushing nothing on my brows, personally. I recently hauled this and I could not take it. If you saw my recent drugstore haul, you know what I'm talking about. These are the NYX Plush Gel Lipsticks. I have two colors. This pink one is called Dime Piece, and then this one is called Nude Beach. Beautiful colors. I love the finish of these lipsticks. It kind of gives you exactly what it says. It's like a plushy gel formula. Gives you a nice shine. Really, really beautiful. But these smell like horrible. I can't get over the chemically smell, and even though it doesn't smell super horrible in the tube, when I put this on my lips, it's all I can smell. And throughout the video, like, I just kept tasting it in my throat. It was giving me a throat ache. Incredibly weird, but I don't like the taste of this, the scent of this. It's like chemically and it lingers. I don't mind if a lip product smells weird at first, but once you put it on, you're like, oh, the smell is gone. No, that is not the case. Unless you're totally like not fazed by scents, then yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about two disappointing foundations, and they were both disappointing for completely different reasons. Let's talk about the one that was disappointing because I simply just don't like this. This is the Josie Maran Vibrancy Foundation. I have two colors, one when I'm a little bit lighter, one when I'm a little bit more tan. Waste of money because I really just don't like these. I have really dry skin, like I've mentioned 100 times, so every time a foundation comes out that claims to be really dewy, really luminous, I get really excited, and most of the times I love it. This, I just, It's a weird foundation. I've used it in a couple of tutorials and I liked it at first, but every time I wore a different foundation, like every time I wore a foundation that wasn't this, I realized like, wow, that Josie Maran one isn't my favorite. Like, I like this one so much more. And I really don't want to wear a foundation I feel so about when I have so many foundations I love. It feels kind of heavy on the skin. Like when you apply this to your entire face, it's definitely not a foundation that looks natural. I feel like it looks like foundation. It's luminous, but almost like in a greasy feeling, not like in a glowy feeling, and it transfers a lot. Even when I set it, I kind of find that it slips and slides around my face. It's a little bit too heavy, can look a little bit cakey, and that's just not the kind of foundation I like. So it's time for me to give you away. Okay, so now this foundation I totally loved. I still love, but it's disappointing because it breaks me out. This is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Makeup. Everybody raves about this, everybody loves this, and I agree, it was so good. I do have to use kind of like a moisturizing primer underneath, but it would last all day on my skin. But it broke me out. I'm so sad. Every time I wore this, when I took it off at the end of the day, I had like little white bumps all over my forehead. I mean, I have some bumps on my forehead right now, but that was caused by something totally different. And even though they weren't like super red pimples, those bumps were caused by this. So I guess I'm sensitive to this. I do have sensitive skin, and I guess this is just too heavy for sensitive skin. So I recently purchased all of the OPI's new Neons collection. They came out with a ton of colors. Now I have to say I haven't tried every single color in this collection, but by trying these two, I kind of know I don't love this. This is in the shade Green Come True, and this is like my ideal green. Like, this is the most beautiful green polish. If you guys don't know, my favorite colors to wear on my nails are blues and greens. It is my favorite. I can just throw away every color and just keep blues and greens, and maybe throw in a couple like Essie marshmallows or like light white colors. So I was really excited about the new Neons collection, but I don't like these. I tried to do my manicure with this nail polish and it was so difficult. It does recommend to apply the white base. I don't mind doing the extra step if it means my nail polish are gonna look extra neon. But even with the white base underneath, these were really hard to work with. This, I had to do 3 coats on top of the white coat already. So it's like 4 coats, way too much work. These have like that see-through jelly consistency where you have to layer it, but they don't layer very well. I'm not a huge fan of this. And OPI is one of my favorite nail polish brands. The next product I want to talk about, I don't think it's bad, but these are just not for me. These are the ColourPop sculpting sticks. I gave most of them away, but I kept 2 of the contour sticks and then 2 of the highlighting sticks, but these aren't for me. Whenever I try to use the contouring sticks, I find it a little bit hard to blending it out for a while. But then once I blend it out, I feel like it kind of blends out into nothing. It's like the weirdest thing. I just prefer a different kind of cream contouring personally, like with different products. And same goes for the highlighting ones. It's not because these are not good. I just don't love matte crayons for highlighting underneath the eyes. I have really dry skin, and I find that this kind of emphasizes my dryness. I don't know. Okay, so next up I have 2 sponges to talk about that I really dislike. Like, a lot of the times I will find a sponge and I'm like, oh, okay, you know, it's not as good as the Beauty Blender, but it's alright. These 2 I really don't like. First up is this guy. This is the e.l.f. sponge. I don't know what the name is, but I bought it online and it came in a trio. This soaks up so much foundation. I've never had a sponge that soaked up this much foundation. I actually used it in a first impression, and I actually had to stop using this, and I went in with my Real Technique sponge, and immediately you could tell, like on this side of the face, when I was using the Real Technique sponge, it was just blending out the foundation so much better instead of just like sucking it all up. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it was really affordable, but you're wasting so much foundation. I'd rather spend more money on a sponge that isn't gonna take it all for me. But anyway, my next disappointing sponge is this. I really, truly don't like this. This is the new sponge from Tarte. It came in a PR package with 2 of their Shape Tape concealers, and I was so excited to try this. I was like, oh my gosh, how cute, but this is the weirdest sponge ever. You know how a Beauty Blender or most makeup sponges, when you put them underwater, they expand? This one doesn't really do that. Not that that's the reason I don't like it, but this is just too rough for me. I don't love the texture of this. I find that it does soak up a lot of product as well, and what I dislike the most is the freaking shape of the sponge. Most sponges have like a round bottom, like even the e.l.f. one. You see how it's like round, making it really easy to bounce on the skin. This one is like kind of round, but like kind of pointy, which really throws me off. Like, when I'm bouncing this on my face, I feel like the pressure is right here at the tip, and it doesn't blend my foundation in nicely at all. It makes it go on a little bit patchy, and I think it has to do with the shape. And considering it's Tarte, it's probably pretty pricey, so I would totally skip on this sponge. That's just my opinion. I'm sorry, Tarte, don't hate me. I'm really sad to say that this product was disappointing for me. This is the Glam Glow Glow Starter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer. This smells like heaven to me. I know some people don't like the scent, but I love the scent. I want a body cream in this scent. So that is a huge plus for me when something smells good, but I don't love this. It says you're supposed to apply this to your face for an instant sexy Hollywood glow, or layer with your favorite foundation for a little extra glow. This does nothing for me. This is in the shade Nude Glow. I don't know if they have multiple shades. But at first when you're applying this, you're like, ooh, this feels really nice. And then when you're done applying it, you're like, oh, where the hell did that go? Kind of blends away into nothing, and then you're left with a little bit of shimmer, like a slight shimmer. And I don't mind the shimmer, I really don't. But if you're gonna give me shimmer on my face, at least give me some moisture to go along with it, because then I find it to be completely pointless. It's not bad, it's just average in my opinion. Glam Glow is a very pricey brand, like that's expensive and that's not worth the money. This, if you guys saw I don't know what video it was, but I was trying products for the first time, like a first impression, and this little biznatch is a sassy little one, like super sassy. This is the e.l.f. Aqua Primer Mist, and this shoots product out. And the first time I used this, it was a little bit startling. Like, I went to spray it on my face and I got like spat at, like it spat at me. And that's not cool, e.l.f. That's not cool. I feel like the key to a good primer mist is something that honestly, it mists product out. Like, you spray it like about 1,000,000 times and it just feels like the little drops just like mist onto your face in a nice way. No, this will spit on you. I don't have time for products that are gonna spit on me. Okay, and my last disappointing product is kind of weird, but it is this. It is this Zoti or Zote. I think Zoti, but I could be wrong. It's like a bar of detergent. And it was highly recommended to me by a few people to use this to clean my brushes. This like pink Zoti. So by the way, coolest color ever. Like, it's neon. I love it. It was recommended by a few people to use this on my brushes and especially on my beauty blender. Like, a lot of people were telling me that it cleans beauty blender like no other. It's amazing, and I used it. I'm not into this. I'm not into this at all. Now, this is 100% detergent. Zoti or Zote is a high quality laundry soap and can be confidently used for washing your family clothes. So I'm sure it's like a more gentle laundry detergent, but like, yeah, it's still laundry detergent. And while it did clean my beauty blender really well, the scent is so strong. This smells, oh my god, the scent is really strong. And after I was done like cleaning my beauty blender, it got a lot of the foundation out, but I grabbed my beauty blender, my holy grail like beauty blender cleaner, and I used my beauty blender with that after, and foundation still kept coming out. Like, my beauty blender solid, I feel, was cleaning it better than this. And even when I was done cleaning it, the scent lingers on my beauty blender or on my makeup sponges for so long. And yeah, I know that that's not a big deal, but a lot of people are sensitive to scents, and if you are, do not clean your beauty blender with this. Your sponge will smell like detergent. I'm just not a huge fan of this. Just use like regular, more gentle soap, you know? There's a lot of options out there. I don't know if laundry detergent is the way to go. So yeah, that completes this video. These were products that I recently tried out and just were a little bit disappointing for one reason or another. Leave me a comment down below of something that recently disappointed you, and maybe I'll avoid it. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. You can't see that, does it? For these NYX foundations, and they were both Dippo. This is the Estee Lauder. What? Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a Sephora haul. I recently was on the Sephora website, made a few purchases. I am addicted to the Just Arrived section at Sephora. I know I've mentioned that 100 times, but it's like, I love it there.